Yo, these dumbasses were making a live on TikTok and they were explaining about how, oh, pro-life is good, abortions are bad, yada yada, all this and that. And I had to pop in and give my 2 cents. And they were like, you know, like, they're babies. It's a human. Humans have rights and you're going to kill it? That's a murder. And I'm like, listen, bitch. I would get pregnant just to abort it. You can't argue with me, okay? I'm psycho. I would fucking kill it. I would push myself down the fucking stairs. I would jump out of a plane to kill that baby. I do not want to give birth.
Before we get started with today's video, remember Mad Magazine before they went all woke on us? Among other aspects of life, they would hilariously use satire to mock and expose both the left and right political parties. Well, there's another magazine that's light years beyond that. 100% independent Flip City magazine. I personally think they're better than Mad because they pull no punches. They'll take a stab at not only Klaus, Great Reset, Schwab, Gill, Final Solution, Bates, and St. Anthony Fraudstey, but they'll give you the bad and the ugly about Dennis Zio Prager, Charlie Kirk, and Dan World Economic Forum Red Flag Law Crenshaw. It's an uncensored free speech magazine from great artists and writers that you're going to love, treating woke like the joke it actually is. There's really no magazine like it. Support these free speech heroes. Go to flipcitymag.com and get a subscription today. The link is in the description.
We have to understand that we're making a mistake in the way that we think about the war, because we keep thinking about it as their war. The Ukrainians are fighting. We need to think about it as our war. Putin is waging war on the West. He is trying to destroy the rules-based international order that we Americans, we Europeans, we all stand for this. This is a direct threat to all of us, and we need to understand this is not a foreign aid project. This is not charity. This is self-defense. This is the front line of freedom right here in the Donbass. The Ukrainians are fighting and dying for all of us. We need to step up. And to echo what Ed Luce was saying, it is unacceptable that right now the Ukrainians are being outgunned 10-1 in artillery. 10-1. They are losing over 100 soldiers a day. The United States has not seen those kinds of losses since World War II. The Ukrainians are willing to fight. They are willing to die. They are defending their land. They are standing up to one of the most evil dictators in the world, but they don't have the weapons they need to get the job done. They have just enough to prevent a Russian victory, but they don't have enough to defeat the Russians, to win for Ukraine. And that is unacceptable. All of us need to step up. The Europeans in particular, as Joe suggested, because they are doing less than we are. But we need to step up too. We're not providing Gray Eagle drones that the Ukrainians need. We're not providing as many multiple launch rocket systems as they need. All of us collectively can be and should be doing more, because we need to understand this is our fight that the Ukrainians are on the front lines of.
Again, this administration's agenda is to control the food and control the people. Biden wants to push OSHA into an extreme heat index for outside workers. You guys want to know what he thinks is hot? 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me tell you, here in Tennessee, it gets humid. And I push past because guess what? My girls still got to get fed, and that's my priority. And I chose this life in agriculture to feed you and your families. And they are trying to put fear in our lives. They're trying to kill off the American farmer. I know. We moved from California because regulations were getting so bad, and they were providing water to Los Angeles and San Francisco instead of the Central Valley. And they're doing it across America, trying to regulate our land, take our water rights. It is happening. It is time to wake up and start supporting your local farmers and buy local.
Across America, dairy farmers have dumped countless gallons of fresh, perfectly usable milk because there is no one to buy it. The shelter-in-place orders given by governments around the country in response to the coronavirus pandemic have shuttered big customers such as restaurants and schools and kept people at home. About 50% of the milk produced in the United States goes to restaurants and other food service operations.
And so farmers are literally having to pour the milk on their fields, dump it somewhere, because there's no place to take it. And at the same time, these farmers have got bills, and how they're going to come out of this and survive, I don't know.
Jim Mulhern, president and CEO of NMPF, said on April 14th that dairy's fortunes have been especially grim. He called for more aid to the dairy industry, saying that without it, the coronavirus crisis could be the demise of producers across the country. Grocery stores are still open and people are still buying milk there. In fact, early in the pandemic, supplies had run out as people had stocked up. But the hidden demand from the virus has still battered America's dairy farmers, many of whom were already in a precarious position before the virus struck the United States. America's dairy farmers face a range of challenges. Milk prices had been low in the 5 years leading up to 2020, and many farmers were already struggling. Texas dairy processor Dean Foods filed for bankruptcy in late 2019. That company sells products under 50 different regional brands, including Land O'Lakes, Berkeley Farms, and True Moo. Milk consumption has also been on a long-term downward slide since the latter half of the 20th century due to changing eating habits and demographic changes across the United States. 2020 was supposed to be a better year for dairy farmers, but that has all gone down the drain.
Hi, my love. How are you? I'm great, thank you. It's good to see you again. So I saw that you were reporting, right? Yes. And you love to post on Twitter and call us pedophiles and disgusting human beings, don't you?
Only if there's kids involved.
Only if there's kids involved. Why are you here?
If there's kids involved.
Why?
Why?
Who gives a shit if there's kids involved?
It's a little weird.
We have an infant over there. Do you think that's looking weird? There's an infant over here?
No, but the kids that were crying earlier were like...
They were crying? They were not crying, first of all. You
One's right there crying.
See, what's not bringing here is because the speaker is right there. They made that executive decision to spin out because it's loud in here, not because we have drag queens here. Get it right. Yeah, so let's get the fuck up. Take your little sip, bitch, and get the fuck out of here.
Thank you.
Get out. Get the fuck out. Get out. Fuck you on your Twitter, homophobic.
Today on the last day, I finally decided to come out to my kids. And my kids are older, they're 4 and 5. And the way that I did it is just read them a book about this teddy bear that kind of comes out as a trans girl. And it's really nice and it's very simple. They understood it right away. And I think what made me cry the most was that afterwards, like, I kind of looked at them and there was just this silence in the room. And I just thought, like, oh my God, now they see me as a totally different person. And before this, they loved me. I was such, one of their favorite teachers, and it felt so good to have that. And I think that's one of the biggest fears I had, is that as soon as they found out about me, they would lose all love for me. And then one of my kids breaks the silence, and she gets up and she just is like, she just hugs me. And she's just like, everyone give Ruti a hug. And they all came and they gave me a hug, and she was just like, we love you. Like, we love you so much. And it made me really emotional, and it was, I think, one of the biggest moments in my transition where I truly felt like at peace with who I am, and that, like, even kids can understand it, and even kids can accept me, and so it doesn't make any fucking sense when adults can't. Because if a kid can, why can't a fucking adult understand and accept? And I've actually been having a lot of conversations recently about this, just in general, about this idea that, like, queer people are indoctrinating kids, and like that Texas law that's going to ban drag queens from interacting with kids. I mean, all of this legislation and these conversations coming up about it. And I just had a moment where I came out to my kids and they accepted me fully.
If I look at our stakeholders, we have business, of course, as a very important audience, and we have politics, we have continuous partnerships with many governments around the world. And of course we have NGOs, we have trade unions, we have all those different parts. Media, of course, right? And very important experts and scientists and academia. Because if we are looking at the future, I think we should look at new solutions, and the new solutions will be very much driven by technological developments.
And we even have, you even have religious leaders, right?
We have religious leaders, we have social entrepreneurs, very important social entrepreneurs.
With all the crazy stated plans of the Great Reset, the currency reset, and even the food reset, it's not a matter of if the store shelves are going to clear and there's a lack of food. The question is when. You need to get long-term storable food. It doesn't matter if it's from me or you just go to the store and you buy food. Just grab dry, storable food while you can. If you want to get it from me, you're going to support the channel and you're going to help yourself out because my link has a discount code embedded within it. You can check that out in the description below.